Zeus Grants Stupid Wishes, a No-Bullsh Guide to World Mythology, by Cory O'Brien. Cronus likes to eat babies. So everybody knows Zeus is the king of the gods, right? Wrong! I mean, he is the king of the gods, but first of all, not everybody knows that. And second of all, he wasn't always the king of the gods. Because see, for a while there was this guy, Uranus, who was a total asshole. Uranus. Anyway, he was the king of the gods, born out of the sky, or maybe it was the aether, but either way, he was definitely married to Gaia, who some sources say also gave birth to him, so awkward. But like I was saying, Uranus bones Gaia a bunch because it is basically just him and Gaia alone in the universe, and what else are they gonna do? And they have a whole bunch of kids, but then Uranus suddenly decides he hates all of the kids, and instead of like giving them up for adoption or something, he just decides to try and stuff them all back into his wife. Like, these are not the babies I ordered, I'm returning them to the baby store, which I think demonstrates a really shocking lack of understanding of how babies are made. Now, Gaia is the entire Earth, you understand, so this would be fine if they were, like, normal-sized children, you know, like babies or something, but they are not babies. They're titans. Ow! So, all these titans are writhing around in Gaia's womb going nuts, and Gaia gets seriously fed up with this nonsense and tells one of them, whose name is Cronus, "Hey Cronus, why don't you and your candy-ass brothers get out of my womb and do something useful like murder your father?" And Cronus says, "How about I do you one better and saw off his balls?" And Gaia says, "That sounds like a fantastic plan. Here, have my ball sawing scythe." So one night, Uranus is about to get busy with Gaia again, I guess so he can father another baby and stuff it back into her. But instead of getting sex, he gets a surprise penisectomy! Cronus all jumping out from behind a rock like, "Haha, got your dad!" Which is something no son should ever have to say to his father. Then Uranus's dick falls into the ocean and makes a whole ton of foam, and that is where Aphrodite comes from eventually. From dick foam. You know that painting where they're standing on the shell with all the angels and stuff? Dick foam. All of it. So then Cronus is king of the gods suddenly, and the gods being actually the other titans, including some dudes called the Cyclops, who you probably know about already. They're the ones with the congenitally poor depth perception. And also some other dudes called the Hecatoncheires, who are significantly less talked about because they have 100 hands each, and that is terrifying. So naturally Uranus especially hated these freaks when he was king. And part of Cronus' whole campaign platform for killing Uranus was that he was totally gonna free those dudes. But no sooner is he king of the gods than he goes psych and stuffs him back into Gaia's cooch again. So obviously Gaia's pretty sore about this whole thing, and then to make matters worse, an oracle tells Cronus that his kid is gonna kill him, and he's like, "Oh, which kid? I've got like a gazillion kids I need to cut down. Maybe I should stuff him into my—" Wait a second. I'm becoming my father. So instead, Cronus comes up with a more sensible alternative, which is to stuff all his kids into his stomach. But the fact that he's eaten his kids does nothing to stop him from banging his wife Rhea, because when you're king of the gods, banging is what you do. So she keeps having kids, and he keeps demanding to eat them, but after a while she catches on to his crafty prank, and when she gives birth to Poseidon, she's like, "That's weird, I gave birth to a horse instead of a kid. Whoops." And Cronus has no reason to disbelieve her because, hey, if Aphrodite can come from foam, why can't Rhea pop out a horse? So he eats the horse instead of Poseidon, and then he gets Rhea preggers again. And this time she's pregnant with Zeus. And when Cronus is like, "Hey wife, serve me up a double children cheeseburger with waffle fries and extra placenta," she's super crafty and just takes a big rock, dresses it up like a baby, and then feeds it to Cronus, all like, "Man, my womb is sure serving up some crazy stuff lately, huh?" But Cronus catches on to that prank pretty fast and starts running around putting random parts of the world in his mouth, hoping to find the one that has a son in it. And Rhea's like, "Hey Zeus, you know what you should do? You should go free those freaky mutant titans your dad imprisoned and use them to murder your dad." And Zeus says, "I'll do you one better. How about instead of killing him, I just make him vomit up all my siblings and then I just kinda imprison him somewhere?" And Rhea's like, "Well, it isn't very brutal, but it is kinda gross, so okay." And Zeus and those ugly one-eyed dudes and the really ugly 100-handed dudes all siege the crap out of Cronus. And then they stick their fingers down his throat and he barfs up all the gods and goddesses, or at least a lot of them. The rest get born later. And then Zeus is the king of the gods and all those Titan dudes are still ugly, and so Zeus ends up imprisoning them all again. So the moral of the story is that if you are not ready to be a father, consider all of your options before skipping directly to cannibalism.